looks like we're live. Hey there, just want to check in. It's Fat Dag, as you know, because that's why you're here. Cool. Hey, gonna ramble tonight. Just got back from a week in Orlando, hanging out down in Orlando for the week. Much needed vacation. Been a long year so far, even though we're only just barely into April. I just wanted to. I needed a chance to get away, and been kind of busy at home and busy doing all the stuff here. So just wanted to take a minute to talk about a vacation strategy that I used on Lifetime, which is significantly different than the strategy that I used when I was losing weight. So I'm sure, as I'll record this in a second, I'm going to get this recorded, so it'll go to the podcast. So I'll take a break in a second to get that over there, but I'm sure there's going to be someone at some point that'll listen to this and say, oh my God, this guy's off his rocker. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And so I'm going to preface all that with, this is how I'm doing it. There are a gazillion different ways to be successful here. This is the way that I'm choosing to be mindful, to be successful, and to go from there. So it's not for everyone. So, I'll probably say some things that'll freak some of you out, and I'm okay with that. So looks like people are jumping in. That's pretty cool. If you can hear me okay, I think I'm trying a new microphone on the iPhone as well. So, hey Jeff, how you doing? Hopefully you can hear me just fine, right? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Okay, cool. All right, looks like you can hear me. Cool, that works. All right, so give me 2 seconds. I'm going to fire up this microphone so it goes into the podcast as well, and then we'll go ahead and get rolling. So let's see how we do this, Jimmy. All right, looks like we're rolling there. So anyway, I'm back from vacation. Took a week off. Went down to Disney World for the week. It was my mother's 70th birthday while we were down there, so it was important to go down there and celebrate with her. That's always fun. You got to do it as a family. So we had my older brother, my younger brother were there. I think there was probably 12 or 14 of us at some point, all getting together, which was really, really cool. So, but as you know, good to be back from vacation. I hit Lifetime back in September. That's when I reached my Lifetime weight, and ever since then, I've been trying to figure out how to maintain my weight. Every single time I've lost weight up to this point, I've failed. I would lose the weight and then gain it all right back, and I didn't want to do that this time. And so I'm having to figure out what the strategy is during Lifetime, which is significantly different than the strategy while I was losing weight. So I took a couple notes here. I'll go through all the notes that you guys left on Connect. I'll go into Facebook, see what's in there, and then, as you know, I'll post it to YouTube and post it to the podcast, and hopefully we'll get the word out. But when I was losing weight, preface all this, when I was losing weight, I was intensely focused. 100% of my effort was focused and dedicated on losing weight. So I skipped a lot of social events. I skipped a lot of parties. I brought my lunch to a lot of really fun places that I wouldn't normally have brought a lunch to, because during that weight loss phase for me, it was my number one goal, and the number one important was to reach my goal weight. So I wasn't going to slow it down. I wasn't going to go, I didn't, as we talked about before, I didn't cheat at all during the weight loss phase. So what I did, though, is when I got to my goal weight, I had to switch my focus. And so I have to switch now to, how do I maintain what I have for the rest of my life? And I know that skinny people eat junk food. I've seen skinny people eat junk food, and they're still skinny. So I had to figure out how do I live in that world, right? And because it's not necessarily the food that is the issue, it's my inability to control the food. So when I see skinny people eat chocolate cake, I'm thinking, there's no way, one piece of chocolate cake is more than my daily points. But I see skinny people all the time eating chocolate cake. So how can I learn to live with eating chocolate cake, which is my favorite, by the way, and maintaining my weight? And how do I balance that? Because the last few times that I've done Weight Watchers, I failed in the sense where after I hit my complacency weight, or a good enough weight, as I failed and I gained all the way back. So I had to set up a new strategy when I hit Lifetime. It's different than probably a lot of what a lot of folks are doing, but My strategy going into Lifetime is I'm a daily weigher. I check my scale daily. When my scale is at or below goal, then I don't track nearly as well as I did when I was losing the weight. And so my strategy going into this vacation was of such. I'm going to Disney World. I haven't been in 2 years. I'm going for my mom's 70th birthday, going with my older brothers and my younger brother, and hanging out. So I knew there were going to be opportunities there to overeat, and I was a little bit prepared for them. So I went in with the mindset of I'm going down there. It's 7 days. It's only 7 days. I can get through this period of time. There's no way that in 7 days I'm going to gain 91 pounds. It's physically impossible. I'm assuming it's physically impossible. So I went with the mindset of as I'm going to go down there, I'm going to use all the tools that I used to learn to lose the weight to help me maintain it. So it started off really innocently. The day we left, I worked that morning. I worked in the afternoon. I actually led a Weight Watchers meeting that evening. Left the Weight Watchers meeting, and we started the drive down to Florida. The intent was we'd drive 4 or 5 hours. We would get back into that routine, and then we would stop and spend the night, and then get up the next morning and drive through. So we got up a little off calendar. We got a little off schedule, and my wife and I didn't coordinate as well as, or she probably coordinated better. I just didn't listen. And so when I came home from the Weight Watchers meeting, I assumed we were going to stop for dinner along the way. She had informed me that her and my daughter had already eaten dinner, so I was on my own for dinner. So that led to the first, right out of the gate, boom, right off track. Went on the way out, I figured I'll just hit McDonald's, grab something quick and easy, and so we can hit the road and roll. And so I did that, and as I rolled down, I ended up some nuggets and some fries and a bottle of water. A bottle of water for me is my go-to. I don't do soda anymore. So right out of the gate, I'm off track. But I knew that, again, I'm just going to be gone for a week, so I'll make better choices the next day. The next day we hit down, we're driving, stopped at a gas station, and those old habits crept right back in. And so I'm real good at hitting a gas station to and from work. I know what that looks like. I know how to handle that. I know how to avoid those temptations, but I didn't anticipate it when I was driving down to Florida. So I had a couple of bad choices at some gas station snacks from road boredom, is what I call it, and we hit the road. Got down there, everything was great, and so I'm going in with this mindset of being at your lifetime weight is all about balance. And so the balance for me is I'm going to eat right, I'm going to live right, I'm going to be healthy, and I'm not going to stress about this. But I am going to be mindful of what the choices that I'm making. So when I get down to my mom's house, my mom love her to death. If you're listening, Mom, love you. But love my mom to death. But my mom is a food pusher. All day long, it was, hey, you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? What can I get you to eat? What can I get you to eat? What can I get you to eat? And I did really, really good resisting Mom and saying, no, Mom, I'm good. So the first day, I wasn't tracking in that all on the tracker. I didn't even open that part of the app the entire week. I'll be honest there. Actually, no, I opened it a couple times to scan a couple things just out of curiosity. So I didn't track. And so the first day we're there, we had a big barbecue, and so you had burgers and brats and hot dogs and potato salad and cookies and all that stuff. Avoided all of it. I had a great breakfast, had a great lunch, and then for dinner was that barbecue, and I had one brat in a bun and moving on. So the first day on track, no big deal. Moving right through it and not at all concerned. And then we started going to Disney. Well, again, my attitude in Disney is I'm going to go down there. I don't go down there often. Sure, I've been a couple times, but I don't go down there very often. So my attitude was I'm not going to track. I'm not going to walk around Disney World with my app open, scanning points at the register. I'm pretty sure that everything I'm going to eat there is probably going to be a little higher in points. Now, I'll preface that with there's a couple things I learned about Disney while I was there, and I didn't know ahead of time. You can bring your own food in. So you can bring a backpack. You can bring as much water as you want. You can bring as much food as you want to carry. So that's all on my inability to plan was the issue that we had there. So you can bring food in. Every single restaurant that we went to in Disney, we eat in the park. We're eating in a group of 10. As we're eating in the park, I had to make the best choice that was available on the menu at the place that we stopped at the time we stopped at. I'd packed some of my protein bars, so I had some reserve. But when it came to ordering the food, I ordered what I wanted, and I didn't mind the points, and I significantly ate more than I probably should have. But I knew going into it that it's just going to be a 7 day window. I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm not going to be that socially awkward guy that says, "I'm sorry, I need to go, get a special food," and sit off to myself eating something that no one else is eating. So I just enjoyed the company of my family, and we just had a good, sensible dinner. So did that for 4 days straight. We went to Disney, went to Epcot, went to Animal Kingdom, went to Disney's Hollywood Studios, they call it. So for 4 full days, it was the lunches and dinners has got me, and then the snacking in between wasn't good. They sell fruit just about everywhere. So if you're in a weight loss mode of this program and you're heading to that park, very easy to have stayed on track. I made the conscious decision ahead of time that I wasn't going to do that. That I was going to come back and just deal with the consequences when I got back. So that's what we did. And so the reason I did all that is because I know that I failed more than once with Weight Watchers. And so if I set up a hard limit that says you can't have this ever again, then when the day that I have it, I'm going to feel like I'm done. I'm going to feel like I failed, and I'm going to feel like I can't do this, and then it's going to be harder to get back on track. And more than likely, it'll be forever till I get back on track. So what I did was I said, you know what, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to make mindful decisions when I can. I'm going to make mindful choices when I can, but I'm not going to stress about it. And that's it. So I knew when I got home, I'd hop on the scale. What was really fun is literally today's my first day back. We got in last night around I don't know 9:30, 10 o'clock or so, and went right to bed because we were exhausted. I got up this morning, and the first thing I did was hop on the scale because that's the routine that I did here. And so far for the day, it's now 9:11 at night. I have 2 points left for the day. I've tracked all day. I'm interested to see what that one day of tracking does to my weight in the morning because I'm sure I have a lot of sodium and bloat from being gone for the week. But so I did it. Now here's what's going on is that was 1 week. Now, if I were to go on vacation next week, I can't use that same strategy because right now my weight's a little higher than I would want it to be. It's still in a very healthy range. I'm still wearing a medium t-shirt, medium sweatshirt, so there's no issue there. But the vacation for me was out of the routine and it was out of the normal. So that vacation became a once in a lifetime, a once in a year type event, more so than a routine. So if I traveled a lot, if I went on vacation a lot, then I couldn't use the strategy that I just used. So every time I have, I kind of got to keep looking forward and backwards to see what the differences are, see where I'm at, and see how I can flex the plan based on exactly where I'm at. And so when I left on vacation, I was 181, and I get back at 189. So it was about 8 point gain over vacation. We'll see in the morning. I'm assuming tomorrow's going to be 187 or so, and it'll just creep back down. I got a ton of fit points in while I was working out or while I was on vacation, but as we know, working out isn't the answer there. But so it was interesting for me. I had to make that choice because I personally am a picky eater. And so it's a little interesting. There were all kinds of every restaurant we went to, there were all kinds of healthy options. I saw them there. It's just not foods that I like to. So as I work my plan moving forward, I'm going to slowly start trying to introduce healthier foods into my daily diet so that when I get to those scenarios, I can order them and enjoy them. But, being on your feet all day, walking around the park, it's hot, it's miserable, it's sweaty. I wanted some comfort food. I didn't want to go trying new foods, and then what happens if you're hungry and then you're going off track there. So that was it. But all of this is to say that the way I'm operating this plan right now, think about it. I was gone for 8 days, 7 days. The very first opportunity to hop on the scale, I did it. And so the reason I was able to do that was because I had a plan going forward. And so if I wouldn't have had a plan, or if I would have derailed, then I don't know what today would look like. So that's why my flexibility is I'm working this plan the way that I need to work it, and going in from there. So a couple quick things. I got couple quick notes. I'm going to roll through Connect, and really get back in here. So let's see. Yeah, so the other thing I did was I focused significantly on the non-scale victories, and I posted them in the opportunity in Connect. But going on the one of the roller coasters, they put the seat harness over you, and it click 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 click. It was kind of neat to hear that click that many times. Normally, I think a couple years ago I was on a roller coaster and they put the harness over and it clicked once. Everyone was pushing on it to get it to click once, and that was a little awkwardly embarrassing. So it was really cool to hear that click. I saw a ton of people out in what I call the scooter brigade, and certainly not at all judging, because at some point I'm sure I'm headed for that. But the scooter brigade is, tons of people who have some medical issues that, a lot of them probably caused by weight loss. And I don't know them. But to see people riding around in scooters that probably were otherwise healthy, man, I saw the reflection of me in them, and I'm like, man, if I don't keep control of this, that could very easily be me. And the day that I can't walk around the park is going to be upsetting. Um, so I kept looking at those opportunities to see, I'm down 91 pounds from the last time I was at Disney, significantly different. So anything I do this one week is not going to have an impact on that, as long as I get right back on track. So the entire time, whether I tracked or didn't track, and um, it was going to, my focus was to make sure that when I got home, the first thing I did was get back on the scale. And I did that. I weighed in this morning, 189 and change, and I'm back on track. So, I bet you it's a couple weeks and I'm back down into my to my goal weight, or even below it. So, the other thing that was interesting is I saw during one of the Lion King shows, there was a lot of the trapeze artist guys doing some stuff, and it was kind of interesting. I was sitting there watching these guys, not necessarily for their technical ability, but I'm looking at these guys are all wearing skin tight bodysuits, and I'm like, I want to wear one of these days, and you can't do that at 91 pounds overweight. So that was kind of a non-scale victory, and then a remotivation is to get back to that stage, and um, so go there. So all in all, that was the gist. Is I set a plan. I did not track while I was gone. Um, I needed the vacation from everything, and I needed the ability for me to say, you know what, I'm going to just go and enjoy the week, come back with intense focus, and get back into weight loss mode. Um, it's different than the initial weight loss mode, but it's probably it's in a mindset I want to lose 5 or 6 pounds at this point. I know it'll come off relatively easy, so I'll get that done. But that was my focus coming back, and I'm very happy to say, first thing in the morning, boom, hopped on, tracked all day today, and we're doing good. It was really interesting to see. It wasn't exactly difficult to get back on track, because before I left, all the habits and the routines and all the things that I put in place at home saved me. So when I came home, there's no junk food in the house. We went grocery shopping and picked up the normal things that I like. So that was kind of fun. So, all right. So first things first, I'll roll through a couple things on Connect that I thought was interesting that you guys asked in for. Um, and then we'll go through the comments here. I see all your comments popping in, so that's very cool. And we'll get to all them, and we'll close it out from there. So Jeff had asked if I found myself drinking more water because I was being on vacation, or to drink the same amount that I normally would. And Jeff, so I was at 2 sodas a day. We've talked about that before. 12 sodas a day. I went from 12 sodas a day down to 0 overnight 2 years and 3 months ago. And so I'm pretty much 100% water. Occasionally it'll be an unsweet tea. But I found myself drinking a lot of water because I like to drink water, but it was also so hot down there that drinking water just made sense. So every opportunity we walked by a water stand, I would grab a water. On occasion, I'd grab one of those devilish Mickey Mouse ice cream sandwiches. So Mickey is terrible. Mickey ice cream sandwiches, absolutely terrible, but they're oh so good. And the Mickey pretzels were yummy too. So those were good. So that was those are that. So that's what I did, Jeff. I just drank a ton of water because that's what I do now. I'm just a water drinker. So WW Login 9 says, what was the biggest pitfall, and what would I do to avoid it if I had to do over? And I thought about that long and hard, and I think the biggest pitfall was the initial mindset when we left here. That first gas station stop, I don't know what it is. I grabbed a bag of beef jerky from the rest area or from the gas station, and gobbled it down, and so that probably set the tone for, hey, we're going to go all in and be gone. So So I probably, even though we had a great car packed with all kinds of healthy snacks, and I didn't stick to them on the drive down. It was that the driving boredom got to me differently than I thought it was going to. So I would avoid the gas stations because that was probably the there and back the gas stations issues were the my number one pitfalls that I would like to have those days over to not eat that at the gas station stuff. So so Auntie Bean one said the same thing with what since I drove, what did I take for? I took my standard protein bars and water and my Spark energy drink that I drink, and those were all in the car. And I had some fruit from the gas stations as well. I did that. Teach Kinder 69. She asked, did I track everything I ate on vacation, or did I just eat healthy and allow myself some treats? Did I have a plan to maintain, lose, or gain a few? And so that was it. So I did not track. My plan was to make healthy choices when I can, enjoy it while I can, and then come back and accept the results. So that was my approach. And not accepting the results is where a lot of us get into trouble, is that we go in with unrealistic expectations. I'm being real. There's no way I'm going the rest of my life without eating some of this food that is so delicious out there. I'm going to eat it in moderation. But if I set the plan up to say that I can never have this again, the day that I have it, I feel like I've failed, and I feel like I have to quit, and then I do just quit. So my plan all along was to go down and enjoy it, be as mindful as I can, but the biggest piece of that plan was to accept the results no matter what, own them, and then get right back on track. So that was the deal there. And then Jan 2165 says, what strategy did I use to keep me from saying I'm going to enjoy this? But the strategy was I didn't have a strategy for that. My strategy there was I am going to enjoy it. I'm going to go down. I'm going to have a great week with my family. I'm going to make the choices that I can. And at the end of the day, back to that. It's back on the plan because I've checked my daily weight. My daily weight's higher than I want it to be, and moving on. So that's the deal there. That's what we did. That's how vacation went. It put me up about 9 pounds from where I want to be. My medium t-shirt still fits. My 31 jeans still fit. 9 pounds is not going to derail me as long as from this point forward I'm making the right choices. And so track perfectly all day today. I'll track perfectly all weekend. Just because I'm home, I get home on a Friday night or for Thursday night, it doesn't give me a free pass to Monday. I think Kelly said there's nothing special about a Monday, right? So I'm back on track today. So very cool. So all right, now I'll scroll through the post here on Facebook. And then we'll go from there. So I'll scroll all the way back to the beginning and see who popped in and check in with y'all. So there we go. Jeff, the strategy at Lifetime, Jakob Traum says that, the strategy for Lifetime for me is different. And so one of the coolest things they taught us in leader training, and I didn't realize this initially, and so I'm glad I paid attention, because one of the coolest things they taught us in leader training is that there are no two ways to work this plan. You can't find two people and say they did it the exact same way. So the reason that's important is because I have to figure out what exactly works for me, and the exact piece that works for me is allowing myself freedom on occasion with a plan to not let it get out of control. And so my plan to not let it get out of control is the daily weigh-in, and checking in daily, and being on Connect daily. So that's how I'm working Lifetime. So Janet, you're very welcome. I enjoy doing the podcast. I think it's kind of fun. I'll do this. I'll throw this up on the podcast, and then I'll actually probably do another one as well. But again, I do the podcast because I don't know where I would be without the Connect community. So when I reached goal, it was the number one coolest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And I know I wouldn't have gotten there if it wasn't for the folks in Connect. And so I know that I get a lot of emails and a lot of questions, and people ask me questions. And so I want to reach as many people as possible. The Connect posts, they disappear real soon after you post them. You'll get about a day. And if I post it on Facebook or Twitter, they last for about a day. So I'm hoping the podcast has a little more life, has a little more reach. And so people who are in and out of, whether you're joined or not joined Paying for Weight Watchers, you have the ability to just stay focused on the plan, because the focus and the daily focus is what kept me on the track. So that's why I do the podcast, is because I want to help as many people as possible, because being at goal there's nothing cooler than being at goal. Nothing at all. So, um, yeah. So Linda says she doesn't want to skip anything. She wants to keep my life and lose weight, and that's exactly that's kind of how I look at it. But I had to go through this weight loss phase first to get to the point where I had to understand what I was doing, and get to a point where I was finally, finally happy in my own skin, and then I readjusted and set a new plan from there. So I think right now I'm having a great life. I think I'm enjoying life really well, and I do have a lot more moderation. I have a ton more self control than I ever had, and I attribute that to that losing weight phase. So. Um, Hey, Kelly popped in. I did see you earlier, Kelly. What's going on, sir? Congrats on, what are you, 1 week away from Lifetime, right? Man, Thursday, you're going to weigh in Thursday. You're going to hit Lifetime, and you are going to rock the program. So congrats there, sir. Very glad to see you. Let's see. Yep, Donna. Yep. I mean, for me, it's just back on track. So, all right, so Liz says she travels Monday through Friday, and it's so difficult to stay on track. She bought a mini portable food scale to get accurate food measurements. And you get weird looks, but you have to do what's right for me. So that's exactly it. So everyone works their own plan their own way. I bet you during the weight loss phase, if I had gone to Disney, I bet you I would have tracked the entire time during Disney, and I bet you I would have probably bought a food scale and I would have brought my snacks in. I'm almost positive I would have done that, even at Disney. So, because I was so focused on losing the weight and hitting goal, that was the number one priority. Because once I reached Lifetime, the number one priority is that balance that I talked about. Is I want to maintain my weight, but I want to enjoy my life, and I want to live happily ever after. So I can do all three of those things. Some days, some are going to take a higher priority than the others. So for this particular trip, living happily ever after was a higher priority than tracking. So that's it. So Katie, yeah, I was gone all week, so Katie is going to move far, far away. So at least we'll have the internet to stay connected. That'll be kind of cool. So, so Heidi says she did the same thing. She gained about 8 pounds on a 6-day cruise. Came home, went back to my weight loss points, and she's already back to where she wants to be. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen to me. I think, 2 or 3 weeks of tracking, and I'll be right exactly back to my goal weight, which means this week has no impact on me long term. So that's why I'm working them now. Again, if I were to go off the rails at this point, sure, there's going to be danger. So I'm not going to do that. So Linda, I weigh myself daily. My daily weight goes automatically to fatdag.com. It automatically goes to Twitter. So you can follow along tomorrow morning. I'll hop on the scale. It'll automatically get posted. So you can see, we can take bets. I think it's probably going to be 2 weeks before I'm back to 175 is where I want to be ideally. So we'll see what it takes to get there. Maybe 3 weeks to get back there. We'll see. But follow along there and check it out. Yeah, Janet, fitting on the rides was probably the coolest thing. So we sat 3 abreast in the, all those little seashells and the clams and Haunted Mansion. So it was me, my wife, and daughter all sat next to each other. And so before, there wasn't room for all 3 of us. It was, so it was they would ride in one and I'd ride in the other, or I'd ride with my daughter, my wife would ride alone, or whatever the scenario was. But this time we all 3 got to ride next to each other, and that was my daughter even said it on one of the rides. Hey, look, we all fit, and that was really, really cool. So Kelly's asking about how are the cravings today. So he found after a vacation from tracking, he had some crazy cravings for a couple days. So right now, it was easy. Today was a great day. We got up this morning. I checked the scale. I knew the work that needed to be done. I had just a regular Quest bar for breakfast. We went to Applebee's for lunch. Had a chicken breast there, and then we had taco salad for dinner. So no real cravings today. I still have 2 points left for the day. I think my desire to maintain my weight is stronger than the cravings at this point. So, I recognize what you're talking about, because I have days like that. Today was just not one of them. Maybe they'll pop back up on Sunday. We'll see. But right now I got it under control. So, and I'll be motivated with that scale going down, and that'll keep it probably honest and keep it good. Yeah, so Paige says she's eaten everything and completely owned it on the scale. This is lifelong, and she doesn't go on vacation all the time. Yeah, that's exactly my mindset. So now, if I did, if I went on vacation once a month, I couldn't use this same strategy. because it would just be too dangerous in that regard for me. The other thing it would do is I can't have a week like this again until I get back to 175. So if something were to pop up next week that was unexpected, I would have to be super disciplined during that time frame, because I would know that I'm not at an ideal weight right now. I'm at a great weight, but I'm not at my goal weight. So if I just gain 9 pounds over the course of 6 days, if I have 6 more days like that, I could gain another 9 pounds, and now all of a sudden we're back to 200, and that's not where we want to be. So sure, I can do this. It's learning your own body and learning how to manage it for you. So sure, I can do this, but I've got to do it smartly, and that's how I'm working it. So it sounds like Lisa did the exact same thing in Atlantic City. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. There was some really great food down in Orlando, and so I'm just, skinny people eat that stuff all the time, and they do okay, right? So it's just a matter of figuring out the moderation that works for me, and so that's what I've done. David checking in. Hello, David. Good to see you, sir. Michelle, thank you for checking in. Crystal says, you're a true inspiration. Thank you. I'm going on a cruise in May for 10th wedding anniversary. Cool. Not be able to track on the app, and I'm preparing to gain. Yeah, so that's exactly it. So you go on a vacation. If you plan to gain, it's not the end of the world as long as you have a plan to put an end to it. And so if you're going to go on a cruise so here, even with a plan to gain, you can still make some smart choices. And there were days I made some great choices. A lot of my meals, I made some really good choices. There was a lot of them I didn't. But I owned 100% of it, and getting back on the scale instantly and right back on plan the next day is how I'm going to live for the rest of my life. So it absolutely is okay to go off of a plan if that is how you are planning to work it. So, and so Sarah agrees with that. And so just to kind of piggyback on that, just the last piece is that is what keeps me mindful. If I didn't allow myself to do this, then can you imagine the frustration level of thinking all week you're going to track, and then something happens and you get to Disney and you slip up because it's going to happen, and then you feel like you're off track, and then you close the app down, and then you're so disappointed with yourself that you don't open the app for 2 weeks. And then you come home and you've gained 6 pounds, and you're mad at yourself for gaining 6 pounds. And so for me in the past, that would be I'm done, I quit. And then it would take a year before I get back to tracking. So I expected the results, I own the results, and I'm moving on from the results. So you can say what you want about it, but for me, it was the day that I got back from vacation, I hopped on the scale, owned it, and tracked solid the very first day. I'm going to live like that for a long time and enjoy it. So that's cool. So Deb, same thing. It's my balance, right? So absolutely. Yeah, Donna says my head's absolutely in the right place, and that's what it is. It's a mindset for me, and being honest on the scale, and yeah, absolutely. And so, no, Mary's asking, do I think it's not really that many pounds? Right. So again, it was 9 pounds on the scale. It was, the number was 9 pounds higher, but there's some undigested food. There's a lot of water still and a lot of sodium. So I don't even know what it was. And so it'll be interesting to see what tomorrow looks like. Check it out on the web. It'll be there. As soon as I weigh in, you'll see it, and you'll know tomorrow morning what the scale looks like. So that'll be kind of fun to see. And so, yeah, Angie said the same thing. Is go to the beach every summer, eat breakfast, lunch. So that was it. Every morning I had a great breakfast. Every morning my breakfast was really low points. It was really healthy. It was just the times when I didn't. Lunch and even some dinners were okay. So it's a re-entry plan. So that's it. So anyway, so that's it. So it's very important to end it this way, because there's two distinct ways to this plan. Number one is when I was losing weight, I was incredibly focused on losing weight. Everything I did was with that mindset of, do I want to eat this because I'd rather lose weight or not? And so when I was losing my weight, I was very, very strict on myself to track everything and only eat what I could eat based on my points. When I was out of points, I stopped eating points, literally. And I did that as quick as possible so that I could get to my goal weight, so I can get to lifetime, and then I can enjoy life for the rest of my life. And so there's a distinct phase of losing weight, in my opinion, and then there's a distinct phase of maintaining your weight in lifetime. So for me, losing weight is all about focus on losing weight. Maintaining weight is your focus on a three-pronged approach, and that's maintaining your weight, living healthy, eating healthy, making mindful choices. And so I did that. So I'm balancing the other three at this point. So some days I'll track, and some days I'll be happy, and I'll just balance. It's kind of hard to describe, but that's how I'm working it now. So, um, but all of that came about because I set myself up with healthy habits. I got into the mindset of, you know, uh, in my house, I don't drink soda. Even on vacation, I didn't drink soda because I got rid of soda. And so, having the healthy habits to fall back on is, it instantly when I walked in the house, it felt normal to be back home. And so it wasn't a danger of, oh, I need to eat more food. And no, I've been eating so good at home that it was just natural and easy to do. Um, so that's it. So depending on where you are in your journey, the number one thing is you have to figure out what it takes for you to stay on the plan. If you're off of the plan, if you quit weighing in, if you quit being mindful, then that's where we run into problems. So I'm working the plan how I need to work the plan so that I can stay on the plan. So there may be a period of time where I don't track. That's still on the plan for me, because as long as I set the plan to say I'm going to hop back on the scale, then I will. Then I did, and I did that. So it's very cool. Debbie just asked about Simply Filling. So Debbie, I can't do Simply Filling because the reason for me, I'm a picky eater. So a lot of the foods that are on the Simply Filling list, I just don't enjoy. So yeah, I understand how Simply Filling works, and it makes a lot of sense, and there's a lot of protein, but I kind of like not some good stuff, and so that's one thing that I'm going to work on over the next year, is trying to add in a lot more healthier foods into my diet, because a lot of the stuff I eat now, even though it's lower points and better in points, I can make better choices, and it would have certainly helped in the park because there was all kinds of healthy options. I don't eat fish, and I don't eat shrimp, and so even though those were there as options, and I don't generally eat salad, I eat a light salad. But for me, a salad can't be a meal. It's just not going to fill me up. So, but if I like salad, there was plenty of salad opportunities down there. So that's one of my goal this year is to introduce a lot more of those foods into my diet so that those become natural and healthy choices. So Kelly, you're on it. You're the next example, right? So you are now hitting Lifetime. You're going to find all this stuff out. And what's the absolute beauty thing is that you get to figure out what works for you. And so there is no two ways to do this. There's no right way. There's the only right way for me is to hop on the scale every morning and adjust daily. So thanks for being here. Thanks for checking in. Always good to see you. So with that, I'm going to close it out. I'll get this posted to YouTube. I'll get it on fatdag.com. It'll be on Wise Advice in the podcast section, and there. So I'll stay on Facebook for a little bit, but I'm going to close the audio out here. In case any other questions pop in. But good seeing you all, and check out tomorrow's weight. Let's see what it looks like. Any guesses? So it's 189.8 this morning. My guess, I'm going to put a guess. I'm going to say it's going to be, I'm going to go with 185 is what I think I'll see in the morning. I think I'll drop 3 pounds from today, maybe 184. So we'll see what it looks like. So David says 186. David, come on, give me some love. Let's go with 185, 186. Kelly, even you guys are so not optimistic. Maybe I'll go for a 20-mile run tonight before I go to sleep. No, I'm joking there. So, all right. Well, anyway, real cool. Again, I'll stay on Facebook for a second, but I'm going to sign off on the podcast. Get that out, and we'll talk to you guys soon. All right. So that's shut off. Let's see what that looks like. So. Cool. Yeah, David, I drank a ton of water, man. I was, I think, I don't even know how many bottles of water I had, but I drank a bottle of water every time. I think I had a bottle of water in my hand every single day. Every single minute. I went from every water station. They had those little, the Disney Magic Bands where you just scan it to pay. Well, put it this way, we spent $1,000 in the park on food. There's 5 of us, or 3, so lots of water there, and waters are $3 a pop. But they'll give you free water everywhere you go if you just ask for it. but you have to stand in line, and so I found shorter lines where you could buy water than shorter lines to pay for water to get free water. So, yeah, Kelly, I think 170 is a little optimistic, a little too optimistic. No, I'm guessing it's going to be 185 is my guess in the morning, based on some late night dinners last night and not much food today. So very cool. So, all right. Well, looks like there's nothing else popped into the feed, so I'm going to go ahead and take off. Just remember, folks, all of us, this is our life. We have to figure out what works for us. And so, the fact that you're here, the fact that you're checking in, someone said to me, I got a Facebook message today. Someone said they weighed in today and they had a bad day on the scale. I'm like, there's no such thing. If you've hopped on the scale, it's a good thing. So that's the same with you. If you're listening, if you're paying attention, it's because you're still mindful to the process. It's because you have a goal that you haven't yet hit or that you're trying to continue to hit, and that you're still focused on it and you're still working on it. How we get there is irrelevant. It's as long as we stay in is all that matters. So with that, I'll end it the way I end everything is that, I don't wish you good luck. This has nothing to do with luck. 100% I wish you good focus. So bye-bye. Thanks.